What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another Shop Talk Tuesday. If you're new to this video series, what this is all about is a commentary-based type thing where I talk through most of it, and I answer questions and comments and things like that from the YouTube comment section, my Facebook page, and my emails. And I talk about, just good topics for knife making or creating in general. Now, today's subject is something that something that I had to think through and do whenever I first started making knives. And this is also going to tie into the viewer's knife section for today, because the person who actually submitted the viewer's knives for the viewer's knife section was one of the people who actually asked this question and talked about this. And I've had it talked about a few different times. People asking me my opinion on things and talking to me through my emails, stuff like that. So I'm going to go ahead and address it now. Now, the topic for today is, kind of goes into making your own knife or making your first knife and things like that, or how you're going to go through that process. Not everybody, you'll have a lot of people that might think, your first real knife that you've made is something that you went through and you started from a piece of bar stock and turned it into a knife. You went through the whole process of something, taking this and turning it into something like this, and actually going through and doing the bevels, doing the heat treat, doing all that stuff. You've got some people that think that your first knife is the first one that you forge out and turn into a knife, something like this, which is actually forged to shape and then finished and sharpened. So something like that. There's people that think different things is what constitutes your first knife. For me, my first knife that I ever actually did something with, I need to put a new handle on it, but was this little guy right here. It was just a, kitchen knife that I went through and reprofiled, did kind of a Warncliffe style blade. Of course, it is sharpened on this side. And then I put a handle on it. Originally, the handle that was on this was a whole bunch of stacked skateboard decks. So I don't even think I have any of that wood anymore. It was basically whenever you take a skateboard deck and then chop it. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to make it real easy. It looked like this. So this right here is what I'm talking about. That's the handle that I originally put on this knife right here, which was my first time actually doing that and stacking material like that and making a handle from scratch. Plus, it was my first time profiling and working on a knife. So I've owned knives, I've sharpened knives all prior to this, but this was my first time actually taking something and reshaping it, putting my own handle on it and doing that stuff. And do I consider that my first knife that I ever made? Kind of up in the air, because I don't take any credit away from people who reprofile knives, but whenever you do something like this, put a handle on it, you're going to feel pretty awesome. But the first time you take something that was not a knife and turn it into a knife, that's the point that's going to make you go, holy crap, that was awesome. Like, that's what you're going to do. You're going to have that kind of moment where I did that. And that's what I went from this, and I ended up doing another reprofile knife, and I still use both of these to this day. I'm putting a new handle on this, and I'll be using this. I use the other one as my steak knife all the time. But whenever I made my first knife out of that file, the one that, of course, you can go back and look at the videos. It's the first knife video that I've made that says, making my first knife out of a file. That was just pure, I felt awesome because I turned something that wasn't a knife into a knife. So it's not discrediting people who really reprofile knives and, take some knife and turning it into another knife, there's no, that's not a bad thing. A lot of people do that. It lets you get used to profiles that you like, especially if you're going to take the handle material off of it and put your own handle material on it and shape it. You're going to get a lot of learning experience just from profiling the handle and getting used to what shapes you like and things like that for whenever you start designing your own knives. So, not taking any credit away from people who do that, because sometimes that's the transition. Sometimes that's the point where you go from a knife maker to, well, a knife collector to a knife maker. And sometimes you have to do a few of those before you get to that point where you go, I'm going to order some steel and I'm just going to make a knife. Or I'm going to take a file, I'm going to turn it into a knife. You've got different ways to transition. And again, I don't want to discredit anybody who just reprofiles knives, because eventually you're going to decide, hey, I want to make my own knife. And you're going to have a lot of the technique down because you've worked on handle profiles, you've worked on different things like that in reprofiling and working on the other knives. So that's my spiel on that. Again, my first time actually working with knives, and reprofiling and doing all of them is what pushed me into deciding to make my first knife. So there you go. Do I think you should do that? Yeah. Why not? Take a butter knife and reprofile it, make it a different knife. Take a steak knife. Take a chef's knife. Take some random knife that you got from Walmart, reshape it, reprofile it, put a handle on it, profile that handle, and make yourself something that you did with your hands. I'd say absolutely do that. And whenever I show you the viewer's knife section, you can see the progression from him making knives, and he took good knives and turned them into good knives. So why not do that? I just want to let y'all know that don't think that you're any less of a maker because you start doing that. There's a lot of people that will just sit there and play video games all day. There's a lot of people who will just sit on the couch all day. There's a lot of people that won't use their hands, and at least you chose to go ahead and take something, use your hands and the tools that you have in your shop, and do something with them. So there's no discrediting people who do that. And people who want to talk down to people who do that, guys, y'all need to chill, because we're all makers, we're all creators, we're all out here trying to do something with our hands. And I mean, that's really a dying thing, because everybody wants to just be lazy and not as actually physically do things. So there you go. Guys, we are going to end up getting into the viewer's knife section. Whenever I do that, I am going to talk about what we have working in the background, and then we're going to go into the viewer's section, and that will kind of show you what I'm talking about with his progression as well, whenever you start seeing what he did. And yeah, we'll talk about that. Now, when it comes to the stuff that we have working in the background, of course, we have this big guy right here, and it looks super awesome, all dark like that. Of course, this is not acid etched or anything. This is just purely the decarb, and it looks really awesome even like that. But God, this is going to be such an awesome knife. Oh, that's going to be cool. And then of course we do have the other couple of knives that I am working on in the background, trying to do a few things with a few different knives, file knives, things like that. So we've got plenty of things working that are going to be coming up in the future videos, but that's what we have going on right now. Now, guys, let's go ahead. Let's jump into the viewer's knife section. We've got a bunch of pictures. He sent me a bunch of pictures, so we're going to go ahead and jump into that. You know how I do it. We're going to end up doing the cutaway so that you can actually see the pictures on the full screen of whatever you are watching this on. And we're going to go ahead and do that now. Alright guys, we've got 3 knives here by Jeff Anderson. The first 2 are made out of Old Hickory butcher's knives. The last one is made out of a file, but let's start with the first one. We've got a butcher's knife that was reprofiled into a spear point shape. Really like the profile of this one. I've done a spear point myself, and I think this turned out awesome. I really like the old hickory handle that's left on there. I think that turned out nice. Now for the second one, again, old hickory butcher's knife with a completely different handle on it, a completely different profile. He did a nice drop point and did a real nice looking layered wood Coke bottle shaped handle on it. I think that turned out great. Then for the last one, we've got a file knife that he ended up not having a forge to do this on, so whenever he needed to drill the pins, he just heated the tang, was able to drill his holes, and then add this beautiful Coke bottle shaped handle on here. I think that this knife turned out great, and there you go. Okay guys, I just want to thank Jeff for sending those in, and I think that they turned out great, but I know that he would love to hear what y'all thought about his knives, so go down in the comment section and tell him about it. Now, Jeff has a YouTube channel. I'm going to go ahead and link that in the description below. Go check out his channel, you know, maybe subscribe, things like that. And again, thank you, Jeff, for going ahead and submitting those. Guys, if y'all haven't submitted any pictures of your knives, go ahead and do it. I don't care if it's your first, 5th, 50th, or 500th. I would love to see it, and I know everybody else would as well. If you're a fellow YouTuber, let me know so I can link it in the description, and go ahead and get everybody over there to check out your stuff. Guys, that's pretty much the end of this one. I do want to remind y'all that I am trying to do a few little collabs with people who view the channel and subscribe and things like that. So if y'all make anything, if y'all make handle scales like Corey Scott, who's been doing that, plus we got another guy who's going to be making some Damascus to send over so that we can go ahead and make some stuff with that. Guys, if y'all do any of that type of stuff and y'all want me to utilize it on the channel, let me know. Send me an email, send me a message on Facebook, whatever you want to do, and we'll go ahead and get something figured out. But that's pretty much the end of this one. Guys, I just want to thank y'all for coming by. And if y'all would, give this video a thumbs up, share this video or one of my other videos, and if you haven't yet, bottom corner, hit that subscribe button so you get notified for the stuff that we have that's coming up. I cannot wait to finish this. This is going to be beautiful. And I haven't decided which video is going to come next, whether we're going to be working on cleaning this up or if we're going to make the handle scales. You'll see whenever I actually release that video. So, guys, that's it. Thank y'all for coming by. Thank y'all for spending your time with me. Y'all have an amazing day. Y'all stay safe out there, and I'll catch y'all next time.